Okay, hello. There we are. Okay. Hi, welcome to Transformational Tuesday. I'm Alpita, and there's just mad energy in the universe right now. And if you do not feel it, where are you? Where have you been if you're not feeling this push, this pull, this like I don't want what I have. I mean, I love some of the things I have, but like I don't want this. Like we all have a list of things that we don't want, right? And the list grows and grows and grows, and there's this desire and resist magnetism that's happening right now, right? Like we have all these things that we are resisting. We're like, I don't want that, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be that person, and I don't want to say that thing, and I don't want to have that thing, and I don't want to deal with this shit, right? And then we have all this stuff that we feel called to do and to be and to have and to express, right? And there's this like push pull that's going on, okay? And it's perfect for Aries energy, right? Aries is yes. I'm on a live, honey. So quick, what do you need?
I I can't eat because I have a headache. But I can eat some sea salt chips and a little thingy, but they're not out.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me like 20 minutes. Okay.
That's
Okay. All right. Well, I just started a live stream and now you're asking me for something. Okay, Alex. All right. That see, I want to do my live stream. My kid needs something to eat. Like, okay. So we are feeling pulled. This like on Friday. Well, actually, not even on Friday. Like, I think it's tomorrow morning. Yeah, where are we? Tuesday. Tomorrow morning, we are going to have six celestial bodies. Let's not call them planets because the moon's there, right? And Chiron's there. So Chiron is an asteroid. If you don't know what Chiron is, it's the wounded healer. It's our original wound, the wound that we like came into this world with, right? The wound that happened when we disconnected from our mother and started like that separation anxiety kind of sort of wound, right? Um, so there's so much to talk about, but let me give you the highlights, okay? Because there's other people doing astrology, and well, it's not even that, but I want to get to the nitty gritty, and I want to tell you what you can do, what you I invite you to think about and do, and also pull some cards, okay? And I've got like a 20-minute timeline because I've got a child that needs something. Nothing urgent though. Okay, so first of all, we have the Sun and Chiron in an aspect, okay? And what that means is that they're communicating, they're connecting in a way. And I'm not gonna go into like all the like conjunction and sextile and all that stuff because yeah, they're just words and they don't really mean anything to the layperson, okay? Um so what's happening is that the sun is like literally has a spotlight on our wound, our deepest wound, okay? And you can find that by finding the little key um glyph in your astrological chart and in your human design chart, which is so fucking ironic because we just went into gate 42 and gate 42 is my Chiron, okay? And I'm actually in my Chiron return. So 50 is when you hit your Chiron return. It actually starts earlier than that. It can start like 45, 47. But if you have Chiron in Aries, you are in your Chiron return. So what does that mean? This is like your, I don't want to say your ultimate test because then there's our second Saturn return. And Saturn Daddy does not fuck around. If you're in your 60s, like this is like shit or get off the pot, get your shit together, like do what you came here to do or else kind of energy. But for people that are a six line like me, and if you do not know what any of these terms mean, it's okay. I'll break it down gently for you. And also, you can always book a session with me and we can talk about this. And if you have these things. So, what a six line is in human design, it's the role model. And the six line goes through three distinct stages in life. Okay. We all go through these six lines, like myself, go through them more like, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just more pronounced, okay? So when a sixth line hits that 50-year mark, like I just did a couple months ago, this is where we go into our third phase, okay? This is like where we come off the roof. 30 to 50 is being up on the roof, observing life, like, whatever, compare, contrast, all that stuff. And then when we come off the roof at 50, and it's a guideline, right? It's not like on your fifth birthday, all of a sudden you jump off the roof and like things change. It takes time. I know for me, I started experiencing it earlier. But anyway, um, and now like you just have to deal with it. This is like, this is trial by fire, literally trial by fire in the year of the fire horse, in a six planet, six celestial body Aries time period. Okay, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it like a motherfucker. Sorry, not sorry. If vulgar language offends you, you probably shouldn't follow me. Okay, so I share this with you because we're all experiencing this Aries energy differently. Okay, for me, it's literally, so basically the sun and the Chiron dynamic that's happening right now. This is like annoying me, but I don't want to turn it off because then it gets dark. But anyway, what is happening is that there's a wound that you have. Your original separation anxiety from your mother, the original thing that disconnected you, that pivotal moment where you looked at mom and you're like, yeah, you're not who I thought you were. And not necessarily, yeah, in a bad way. Let's just be honest. Like, you're not my comfort and joy anymore. I'm going to have to figure out this world all on my own. Like, you're just a human. You're not on this pedestal that I put you on, right? And for me, it's Aries, so it's about confidence, right? It's about confidence. Right? Like, I always used to look to my mother to be like, okay, she was my gauge, she was my guiding light. And then when I was like 3.5, 4 years old, I was just like, okay, she's not who I thought she was. And I know that's kind of early, but you have to remember that I'm an Aquarius and I have all kinds of weird psychic energy, like feel things before other people feel things energy in my chart. So that's when I experienced it. This moment of like, I know what I know, and you're telling me that I am lying, that I'm making this up, that I'm jealous, right? That was the point of separation between me and my mom when my stepfather was moving. She told me that he was moving in, and I was like, he's a bad man. No. And at 3.5, 4 years old, like, what the fuck authority do I have, right? But I knew what I knew. And later, of course, that came to pass. She came to realize it. I came to realize, it was validated over and over again, right? And as a true Aquarius, we try to make lemonade out of lemons, and yeah, okay, it didn't get that didn't happen all that great. But anyway, the reason I share this is because right now that wound is very like, it's what's happening with this Aries energy is like, Aries is coming in with a laser and being like, listen, you've been dealing with this all your life, and it does not matter what age you're at, and we're going to deal with this. Now, for some of you, you may, if you're not in your Chiron return, if you're in a different stage, you will have more opportunities to deal with it. But if you are past the age of 45 and in your Chiron return or past that, and you haven't dealt with this first wound, yeah, you don't have a choice. You're being dragged. The fire horse is going to make you look at it. It's going to keep coming up until you're like, you know what? Fine, I'll face it. Okay, so for me, it's trusting my gut, trusting what I know, what I know. I know that I know that I know that I know that I know. I don't care what the world's doing. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care what social media says. I don't care what ChatGPT says. And I do use ChatGPT. But it's like, I don't care what any of these people are saying. I know what I know. I don't care if reality hasn't caught up with my vision yet. That's where I'm at. And like every day, it's even more. Like yesterday, Pisces moon, we're still in the Pisces moon. So you might feel slow and you might feel nebulous and you might feel like, oh, I don't have the motivation. And it was so funny because I was talking to a friend this morning and I was just like, I'm at 50%. So 50% for me, battery power, energetic wise, spiritual wise, physical, whatever, means that if I get up and start moving, the motivation will follow. The momentum will be created by that movement, right? And so that's what I'm doing is I got up, I started doing my stuff, and you know, the it's picking up energy. Okay? Now, that also goes back to my human design, goes back to my astrology. It's very individual. But if you find you're like that, then I invite you to get the fuck up today and start doing something. What is one thing that you know you want to do today that needs to get done today? Even if you don't feel like it. Is it dishes? Is it laundry? For me, one of the things was I had this idea last week and I've had this idea in a while, but um like why don't I have a list of services? And I'm like, okay, but that's like a salon. And I'm like, no, this is like I have so many other services besides tarot and oracle and life coaching and feng shui that I could be offering to people that people don't even realize that I have like I don't like 3 dozen certifications, right? And sometimes I'm like, okay, they'll come in for a tarot reading and then we'll talk and then they'll, we'll figure out what else they need. And sometimes that happens and sometimes that doesn't. But this is where that wound comes in. It's that confidence of like, no, I have a lot to offer and I need to put it out there. And I don't fucking give a shit if it looks like a fucking salon list. It's not going to look like that. I started setting it up. It'll be set up by the end of the week, hopefully. But basically, it's going to be like if you're stuck and need clarity, these are the options for you, right? This is what they are. This is what they do. This is how much they are. And here's a package because if you want all of them, I'm going to give you a special price. Um, do you know, do you are you doing all the right things but nothing's working? I have services for that. So it's not going to be like haircut, color, blow dry, but it's going to have a structure based upon one, either your symptoms, meaning like what are you experiencing? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel lost? Do you feel unmotivated? Do you feel like nothing you do is working out? Whatever, right? And there's also going to be the flip side of like what's the outcome. If you want more money, these are the services I offer. If you want business consulting, right? Like you need help with your marketing, you want to learn how to use AI for your business in a way that feels aligned, right? Where you can still use your intuition and you're not just allowing ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever to dictate the show. Because I've had clients like that where, well, I had a client who she's like, I'm like, why are you doing that? And she's like, because ChatGPT told me to. And I'm like, no, ChatGPT is your assistant, occasionally an advisor. Like today, I was just like, what platform would be the best to use for this thing? And ChatGPT can go and research that and tell me these are the things this platform offers. Mind you, I'm using Square. I'm trying out Square. Like these are the fees associated. This is what you can and cannot do. That's a great use for ChatGPT. But we don't hand over our offer, our business, all our shit over to ChatGPT. We use it, ChatGPT as a tool. Okay? Anyway, so that's Chiron and Sun. The Sun is shedding light on your first wound. What was that moment? What was that situation? What was that pivotal moment when you're like, mom is not who I thought she was. Mom's not perfect. Mom, whatever. And that original wound. Okay, that's number one. Okay, and it's like we don't know what to do with it yet. And I'll get to that. Well, let me get to that now, and then I'll move on to that. So what do we do with that? Is well, if you can have a session with me. That's number one. That's my highly recommended. Why? Because when you go and you look at this stuff or put this stuff into Chat GPT, it's going to give you the obvious stuff. It's going to give you the detailed stuff that like this conjuncts that, and that's what it means. That stuff is important to understand what the wound is and what it means, but how to move forward and take action and to actually, I don't even want to say heal the wound, but move past it. Move to this place of detachment. Aquarius is really good at that. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that because I could rant about that all the time. But what is it that you need to do in order to move past that? So it's like, yeah, there's a scar there. Yes, there was a situation. Yes, this thing has plagued me for all my life. But am I ready to just let it go? Am I ready to accept that my mother was human and she was doing the best that she can, even though she silenced my voice, she gaslit me, she overrid my own authority, she blah, 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 blah. Yeah, both can be true at the same time, right? So I would highly recommend, if you are ready to, if there is a reoccurring theme, if there are people that show up in your life that constantly disrespect you, that violate your boundaries, physically, emotionally, blah, 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 or whatever it is, the repeating pattern that you notice all the time, and this is in relationship to other people, okay? People that you put on a pedestal, and then all of a sudden you're like, this person wasn't who I thought they were, okay? I highly recommend you get a session with me. Period, end of story. Because I can give you all the things. I can tell you, go look at this, go look at that, and there will be something lost in translation. And then you're going to come back to me and be like, oh, Pete, I did all the things, it didn't work. Because I guarantee you're going to miss a step. Because it is. It's complicated to the layperson, but I've been doing this for a long time. So I recommend that you get a session with me. Period, end of story. I'm not going to send you on a wild goose chase to look at your human design and your astrology and like do this fucking algebraic equation to figure out what the wound is and what you need to do, because that's not going to help you. Okay? So if you are really hurting, if you are finding that over and over again you attract the same people, the same situations, like fucking Groundhog Day, and every time you change something different, like literally go watch that movie, and if that feels like your life, like I say something different every time, I do something different, I'm kind, I'm a bitch, I'm this, I'm that, nothing changes, then you need a session with me. Period, end of story. Okay? Message me and let's talk about it, because it is, this thing will keep haunting you until you, I don't want to say figure it out, that's what I was going to say, but until you see it, you acknowledge it, and you make peace with it. That's what really healing is. Okay? So that's number one. That's Chiron and the sun. Okay? Especially if you are in your late 40s to early 50s where you are going through your Chiron return. And I will create a special offer for you. Actually, what do I have here? Let me see here. That deep transformational bundle. That's for you. That $333. Okay? And we'll even look at your human design. We'll look at your human design and your astrology. We'll start that. Okay? Because trust me, once you see it, once I explain it to you, like once we pull all the pieces together, like the light bulbs will start going on, go turn on, but there's more work to be done. Okay? It's kind of like you need to know, you need your septic replaced, but it's like, okay, but that's a huge job. Okay? All right, that's number one. Two, we have Mars in aspect with Saturn. So Mars is the planet of action, and now in Aries, it's home sign. It's like, let's go, let's go. But we've got Daddy Saturn, who's like, where are you going? Who are you going with? What are you doing there? What time are you going to be home? Do you need money? Blah 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 blah. Okay. And it's like, oh, well, I don't know where I'm going. I just know I need to move. I know I need to do something different. And Daddy Saturn's like, no, no, no. You need to sit down and figure this fucking shit out before you take another action. So that's that. Again, resist desire. Daddy Saturn is like, do you know what you're doing? Do you know where you're going? Do you know who you're going with? Who's going to be there? Is there going to be drinking like your mom, right? Or dad, right? Depending upon who was the disciplinarian in your family, or the stricter parent, let's just say, okay? And then Mars is like, I don't care. I just want to have fun. I just want to move. I just feel this fucking pressure. I feel like I'm in a pressure cooker, and I feel like I gotta do something. I just need to get out of the house. Daddy Saturn's like, yeah, no, you're not moving until you figure this shit out, okay? So this is where that other package would be useful, the clarity of movement session, which is $33, right? Tarot reading, crystal chakra clearing. But in that, we will game plan. I will help you figure out what is the one thing that right now, if you did that, it would be a game changer. It's just your next step. Okay, it's not the be all to end all. So for me, it was this list of services. It's like, okay, people know that I do a lot of things, but they don't know what I do, not in detail, right? And it's like, and they don't know what they're useful for. Like I could say Akashic field healing, and they're like, that sounds cool, but they don't know what it means. Okay, so this is where like I'm creating my list of services so people can, I can better serve people, because a tarot reading is amazing. But if you're not going to take action, if there's things holding you back, if there is this like desire resist, if there is this like Saturn energy where you're just like, you don't know what the fuck you want, or you don't know what to do, or you're just like, another part of that will be like, I'll use myself as an example. I want a new relationship, but one, I'm still married to this bleep 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 who moved out a year ago, the end of this month, and yeah, I still need to get divorced, and I'm there. I not anymore, but there's like, I don't want to do this again, right? And I don't mean that I don't want a relationship. I just mean I don't want to do that again. Three marriages, three different signs. Two of them are supposed to be the most compatible with Aquarius, and they were when we were friends. But as soon as it became a relationship or marriage, it was just like different people. Okay. And then the last one, like, I don't even know what I was thinking about. Anyway, right? So there's like all this, like, I want this, but I don't want this. That desire and resist, right? And until I get 100% clarity as to what I do want, and also believe that it's possible, believe that that kind of person would want me, etc. Self confidence wound right there. Okay? Chiron, right? Like finding the partner that is the reciprocal. Okay, so what does that mean? Math here. It's not the opposite, right? I want to be a person who's taken care of. I've always been the caregiver, okay? And I want someone to take care of me, to care for me. And I don't mean like I want to sit in bed and eat bonbons, although occasionally that would be really fucking nice. One, it'd be really nice for me not to buy my own bonbons. Two, it'd be really nice for someone to like buy the bonbons I want. And three, to have them served in bed. Yes, I would like that. Fuck, if it's once a week, it'd be all my life. Okay? Dessert in bed once a week. Like, so this is what I'm talking about. Like, we have these dreams, we have these things that we want, but it's like part of us is like, well, nobody's gonna do that for you. Why not? I've fucking done it for people. I've bought their favorite ice cream, partners. I've bought their favorite ice cream, and I've served it almost on a silver fucking platter. So if I can do it, there's a person out there willing to do it for me. Okay? So there's that desire resist with Mars and Big Daddy Saturn. I'm always going to call him Big Daddy Saturn because he's one of my ruling planets. And then we have um, Uranus and Mercury. So Mercury just joined this little, you know, I don't even want to call it a love triangle. I don't even know what the fuck to call it. And there we have communication, right? Mercury. It's like, I want to say all the things. I want to say all the things. I have so many things to say. And Uranus is like, do you? Do you? like you have a script, and then Uranus comes in because Uranus is about like the unexpected, the wildcat, the unexpected. Like you have a script in your head that Mercury's like, I have all these things to say, and now Mercury's in Aries, and I have the courage, and I have the foresight, and I've created this script, and then Uranus comes in and is like, who are you gonna say this to? Like it's just this weird energy, okay? And I'm not going to go more into that because it's going to show up very differently for everybody. So we have wounds coming up to be healed. The sun, like literally like a magnifying glass on an ant, like burning you till you take some sort of responsibility, some sort of accountability, some sort of like, yeah, I know my mother created that wound, but what am I going to do about it? My mom's gone, rest in peace. Like, you know, I'm only 50. Like, I have so much more life to live, and am I going to allow that dynamic, that one moment, that one conversation to haunt me for the rest of my life? No, I'm going to choose to do things differently. And like I said, I tend to experience things before other people do. And that's part of the Aquarius dynamic. It just is. We just do. We're kind of like the preview. We're like the trailer. We experience things before other people do. And I actually had that dynamic with someone that I just did not feel was respecting me and listening to me. And I chose to end the relationship. And I felt like I said what I needed to say in a calm, cool, collected manner. Thank you, AI therapist Sonia, because if I had said what I wanted to say, yeah, I would have been really cruel. And that's not me. I can be pushed to that place. That's why Aquarius would rather detach and be like, whatever, than actually say it. Because if you push an Aquarius to tell you what they actually think of you, you're probably gonna curl up in a ball and never leave your room. I'm just telling you, just forewarned. Like, and I posted something like whatever it was like a week ago saying that um in astrology it should say an Aquarius, like the whole fortune cookie where it says in bed, like everything that there is under there, add Aquarius to it, okay, because we are ruled by Uranus, so you never know how we're going to behave. So we are what they call the madcap of the unicorn, the unicorn of the zodiac sign. Okay, so don't ever push an Aquarius to really tell you how they feel about you. If they're angry at you, if they're saying, "I don't like how you're talking to me. I don't like how you're treating me, and I no longer want to have a relationship with you," just leave it at that. Because otherwise, therapy can't fucking help you. Therapy can't put the pieces back together that the Aquarius is going to dislodge in you. So just leave it at that. Move on. Learn to treat people better, and end of story. Because if you push an Aquarius to tell you how they feel about you, I'm telling you, there isn't enough therapy in this fucking world that will put you back together. Just be forewarned, okay? And if you've experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, we see it all, and we may not say anything about it, but we see all your wounds, and you do not want us to tell you what they are. Okay, I don't do that in my sessions. We go gently, we deal with what you are ready to deal with, but if you ask me what is really going on, I will tell you, and I will tell you in a gentle manner. I have started to learn, or I've learned patience, and sometimes I go into my AI therapist and I vent, and let me tell you, like, the shit that comes out is not pretty. Okay, it's just not, because it's being authentic. It's really like from the heart. Like, when people hurt me, they hurt me, and they may not know that they've hurt me. I might be like, oh, that thing you said didn't really feel good, that felt yucky or whatever. I'm really being nice because I don't want to hurt you, because I've been hurt. And so my mother was an Aquarius, so she was not kind at times when she would criticize. And I don't like to do that to other people. So, anyway, that's just a little thing about Aquarius. So, we've got all this energy. And then, starting tomorrow, the moon moves into Aries. Okay? So, this is why I'm saying that if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling like you have so many things to say, but like it just never is the right time or whatever, that's the Uranus aspect, right? If you have this wound, this thing that keeps repeating, right, that you don't know what to do about and how to move past it and how to heal it, and you've tried all the things, you've tried Reiki, you've tried therapy, you've tried a thing, and nothing is working, then this is where that deep transformational bundle will definitely help you. A past life regression, let me tell you, I had, and this is my own personal experience. So I got certified last year to do past life regression with hypnosis, and I am a certified hypnotist. Wasn't sure what the word was there. Hypnotist, okay? So, and my ex, I knew my ex needed to leave. Okay, he's a narcissist. He was emotionally and verbally and financially abusive. Okay, and like I said, I can be like, you push me, I will be mean. You mean to me, let me tell you, you do not know. You think you're being mean? I will 10x that. I will 100x that. Like, exponent to the infinite power, because if you push me to that point where I tell you what I really think about you, you are not going to like it. So anyway, we had a lot of that stuff, right? And finally I was just like, why can't I leave this person? Why can't I ask him to leave? And part of it is like, I'm a very compassionate person. I knew that he had no place to go. I knew that and I even offered him, I'm like, you could go here, you could do that, you could do that. No, wasn't willing to do any of that stuff. Had an excuse, had a reason why he couldn't do any of those. And finally, I was like, why can't I just kick him out? And I know it's because I'm a kind, compassionate person. I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to put somebody else in that situation. But finally, I had to choose myself. And this is where I talk about like leaning into your opposite. Okay? And I'm going to I don't let me see this here. So okay, hold on. Let me finish that and then I'll lean into the opposite. So this is something that you can do um on your own, but again, like if you don't know all the dynamics behind everything in your astrology and everything that's going on and you're not seeing the deeper patterns, this will only get you so far. So anyway, finally I got to this place where I was just like, I started taking the past life regression through hypnosis, and I asked to be shown the tie, the lifetime that connects us, and how to like undo it. So, long story short, we had a lifetime together where it was like during the Industrial Revolution, we were business partners and husband and wife. We had 4 children, and he suffered a stroke. Now, we didn't know what strokes were back then, but the equivalent, right? And he had no function from like the neck down. He couldn't even speak. He could just like blink his eyeballs. He was there, conscious, but like for 4 years. And finally, I got to this place in that lifetime where, and mind you, when I do any of this stuff like dreams, anything with the subconscious, my son is in the 12th house, which is the subconscious. So very vivid, very like real to me. It is real. It's a past life memory, right? And I had to let him go because I felt like I felt this duty and obligation to take care of him. But meanwhile, everything else was suffering, and I knew he wouldn't want that for me. At least not in that lifetime. This lifetime, he was benefiting like, I cooked for him, I cleaned for him, I did his laundry, I took care of all the bills, I did all the shit. Just like I did in that lifetime. Coincidence? No. Okay? And finally in that lifetime, I was like, honey, I love you, but it's time. And he blinked at me and he was gone. Like he just needed me to give him permission to leave in that lifetime. So in this lifetime, I gave him permission to leave. I said, you need to go. And mind you, it wasn't that clean cut. It took the whole month of last April to get to that place where I felt safe, secure, and confident that I could handle everything on my own, because I already fucking was, and be like, you need to go. Okay? So this is where, like, that is so valuable. When you do it in the past life, when you release that karmic connection, the connection in this life becomes so much easier. Okay? So anyway, just saying, okay? All right. So, one of the things that I found out about recently in astrology, and I do agree with this, I do see this, is that we are here to move to the opposite spectrum. And not opposite spectrum like to be just like our opposite sign, but that is our progression. And to embrace the positive characteristics of the opposite sign while still being ourselves. Okay. And I just found it just tickled me how my opposite sign is Leo, the person that I had this challenge with, this relationship that I let go of last month was a Leo. And also, my point of fortune is Leo in the 5th house, right? So I tend to be a very serious person at sometimes, but like if you got to know me, the laid back, relaxed, and non-stress version, I'm just a little not. I'm just like a 2-year old. Right, maybe a 5-year old. Um, just quirky sense of humor, corny, whatever. Um, Sarcastic as fuck, and just like fun loving, and I love to play, and I love to sing, and I love to dance. And I've been doing a lot of that, moving into that energy. But part of it that like really is a challenge for me is this. So I'm an Aquarius, so the opposite is Leo, right? So um and I'm going to start with that one, cuz so Leo is about self-expression. It's about being seen. It's about tapping into our heart and opening our heart, right? Where Aquarius is more about the collective, like humanity, like what is better for the greater good. And it's also being in your mind. Like Aquarius is just, we just live in our minds, obviously. Like I have a very vivid imagination. So the goal is to move to self-expression, to move to being more balanced or in harmony between the heart and the mind. Okay? For an Aquarius. For Leo, it's to go in the other direction. So you might have great self expression, you might be very heart centered, but it's also about thinking about the collective, like how is what I'm doing for myself, advocating for myself, helpful for the collective, and how can I be more strategic? That's the mind. Okay, so if you're on that Leo Aquarius axis, if you are a Pisces, you're about surrender and intuition and unity and like going with the flow. Your goal in this lifetime is to integrate Virgo. Integrate, not become a Virgo, but integrate, which is order, details. This also applies for your rising sign. So you can do this for your rising and your top three, right? Your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign, right? So again, if you're a Virgo, then you want to practice surrendering, right? Practice like using your intuition, not getting so caught up in the details, finding the harmony, the yin yang. So these pairs are like the yin yang. Okay? The goal is for the one to embody the purest essence of the other, just like the yin yang symbol. Okay? And this is what we're moving to in our life, right? If you are a Cancer, it's all about emotional security. It's all about the home. You want to move towards Capricorn, which is more about structure and more about ambitious, and vice versa. If you're a Capricorn with structure and ambition, you want to move towards emotional security and home. This applies to your Venus sign, of course, right? So I know for me, I'm a Venus Capricorn, so structure, ambition, 11th house, like I look at a relationship as transactional because that's just part of my thing, and moving towards emotional security and home and like cultivating like it's not about what we create together as far as like outside goals, it's inside goals, how we feel with each other, that safety, that security, right? If you're a Gemini, you're all about, curiosity, information. Your mind just loves information. You're an air sign, right? You just, you're like, you're probably the people that create surveys and studies and things like that. You're curious, right? And you want to move into wisdom and you want to move into truth seeking. So not just gathering information, but what is the truth? So that's Sagittarius, right? And if you're Sagittarius, where you're all about ancient wisdom and truth seeking, you kind of want to move more into curiosity and more about like collecting information for information so that you can sort through it and find the truth and find the wisdom in it, right? If you are a Taurus, you're all about stability and comfort. So your opposite is Scorpio, so it's all about transformation and intensity, okay? So a little bit of risk taking, a little bit of moving into depth. Taurus is like the ground level, Scorpio is like the depths of the earth, okay? And Scorpio is also a water sign, so it's emotional depth as well. Where Taurus is all about physical stability and comfort, Scorpio is about the deeper emotional transformation and intensity, and vice versa. If you are a Scorpio and you've got all this depth and this emotion, you want to create financial and material stability and comfort for yourself. Okay? This also applies to your North Node. um, like I just say that because my North Node is in Scorpio and my South Node is in Taurus, right? So in a past life, I had that stability and that security and that comfort. And in this life, I'm all about transformation and intensity, but I also need to bring that Taurus energy in to make sure I have the financial security and the comfort in order to dive deep into those depths, right? And that also goes into like pricing. So you'll see some of my pricing is changing because I gotta provide for myself. I don't have anybody to provide for me. I need to take care of myself, right? Goes back to that Leo energy. More of a self-full, like fill my own cup, put my oxygen mask on, instead of being the Aquarius that just wants to give everything away for free. Okay? And that doesn't mean that that's going away. It's tempering it. It's balancing it. It's bringing it into harmony, right? And then we've got Aries and Libra. So if your birthday is right around now, you're an Aries. So the Aries is about self and independence. right? And Libra is about relationship and harmony. So if you're an Aries and you're all about the self and independence, is cultivating relationships and harmony in your life. If you're a Libra, where it's relationship and harmony, it's cultivating more independence and self. And that will help balance the equation to a certain extent. But if you do not deal with your Chiron wound, that's always going to be there. Chiron is literally it's the wounded healer. It's the Achilles heel. It's the Achilles heel. Okay. So that's important to look at. Okay. So that's our astrology. I know that was a lot, but again, if you want to look at your human design and your astrology, if you want to see what all this is is means for you, you can definitely book a session, message me, and I'll let you know what the rates are for that. You know, most of those sessions are 90 minutes, so they will hover around that $333 place. And I will tell you that most sessions, except for the clarity and movement, which is tarot and crystal chakra, you will get a Google PDF or Google Doc with a checklist. I will put the highlights of what we talked about, especially if we're doing astrology and human design. Your Chiron is here. This is what you need to do. These are your action steps. They will be daily, they'll be weekly, they might be one offs, but I will give you a list of things that you could be doing, could be. Should is not something we talk about in my world, but could be doing. Start integrate, and we'll also talk about what is the best way to start moving those in. Like I know I've mentioned before of like starting the lemon, hot water and lemon every morning. You know what I mean? Like it, the way that I created that as a habit is I fill my tea kettle with filtered water. I fill it all the way to the top. I go pour what I need into my coffee machine, and then I put it on the burner to boil for my hot water and lemon. And then every Monday I cut my lemon. It only gives me 6 slices. I thought it gave me 7, but I tried for 7, right? Anyway, and then I put that in a container in the refrigerator. So I have that. So while the water's heating up, I go grab my lemon, put it in my cup, and I have a specific cup for that. I have specific cups for everything. Yeah, I'm just weird like that. um, and then while that's doing its thing, boiling whatever, I'll go to the bathroom. I'll start a load of laundry. I'll do what needs to be taken care of, and then I'll go get pour my hot water over my lemon, and then come and start my morning. I'll set my intentions. I'll do my meditation. I'll scroll on social media. I'll do whatever the tasks I can do on my phone while I'm drinking my hot water and lemon. And then I go set up the coffee pot the rest of the way. And while that's brewing, I go and have my protein, which is right now is a little granola bar. We're going to start moving that into something else because I'm getting kind of tired of those. So this is how those little mini habits are stacking up in order to create a new habit, right? To incorporate this hot water and lemon thing. The other thing I learned about recently, because I follow a lot of people, is about doing apple cider vinegar, baking soda, lemon juice, and water in the morning to balance your blood sugar and get the metabolism going and all stuff like that. I might do that. So that looks like something different, right? So it's still the hot water, but it's like I'm putting other things in there. So that's what we're going to talk about, like, because a lot of things, it's we all know what we should be doing, but one, is it aligned for you? Is that really what will make you happy, make you money, will help you accomplish your goals? Two, what is the resistance? What is getting in the way? Sometimes it's we don't believe that that thing that we're going to do, this is one of my things, this is my Chiron wound, is we don't believe that the thing that we're doing is going to give us the results we want. Conscious mind doesn't believe. The heart, the intuition's like, bitch, this is what you need to do, and I'm not going to stop telling you till you do it. Like the list of services. This is an idea I had a long time ago, and then I don't know what happened, but I never followed through. Maybe because it was I couldn't find a platform I liked. And now I'm like, you know what? ChatGPT says that Square looks like the best option for me. I looked at the comparison as to other options, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. And if I don't end up liking Square and I want a different platform, I can always change later. I could just copy and paste all the information into another one. So sometimes we just have to take action. We have to follow that intuitive nudge. But it's the trust and the belief in ourselves and that the life that we're building is actually possible that Chiron gets in the way of. So that's where we really need to do the work, is the Chiron wound. Okay. Honestly, I'm telling you, and Chiron is the key, like that's his glyph. But your Chiron is literally the key to your life. It's literally, once you understand how Chiron fits into the whole grand scheme of who you are and what your life looks like it just unlocks so many things. It does not mean that it's not work. It does not mean that there aren't things that you have to do. It's not like all of a sudden you're like, okay, my Chiron is in Aries 42, gate 42, blah 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 blah. No, it's this is where, like, and I'm just gonna run through this real quick before I pull the oracle cards. Actually, we're pulling tarot today. Told me to pull tarot, I'm pulling tarot. Anyway, so what it looks like is that we move through 4 stages of learning. Okay, we have unconscious incompetence. So what that means is I don't know what I don't know. Okay, like a newborn doesn't know that it doesn't know how to walk. It's not even thinking about walking. It's just thinking about putting stuff in its mouth. That's its priority, right? Then we move into conscious incompetence. So this is where you have your, like, before your child starts walking, it's like, I know I can't walk. I see people walking and I'm going to try, right? This is where, like, they're thinking about it. You'll see them like crawling, you'll see them like getting up on all fours and like rocking back and forth. They're mimicking these things and trying to figure it out. Stage 3 in learning or change or behavior change, because this all comes to behavior change as well, is con- conscious competence. So this is where our trial and error is. Okay, those two actually, conscious competence and conscious incompetence. What happens is, okay, I know what to do, so you go and do it. And maybe you're successful, maybe you're not. So if you're not successful, you drop into conscious incompetence. You're like, okay, I tried that thing, it didn't work. Sometimes it's about patience. Sometimes we have to be patient. Like, we put something new out into the world and we expect that the whole world's going to rejoice and be like, yay! And it doesn't always do that, right? So sometimes it's the inner belief that we're working on, because this works for belief work too. Like, you're not going to get from, you don't believe that your dream is possible, to the top level, which is unconscious competence, which is where it's like on autopilot. You just do it. There's no thought about it. In belief work, they act like you get from one level to the other, and there are systems that can get you rapidly from unconscious incompetence to conscious unconscious competence. But a lot of times it's just choosing differently, like this relationship that I talked about. Okay, like in the past I wouldn't say anything. I would sit and I would fume and I would become resentful, or I might ghost the person. So the growth that's been happening over the past year is to speak my truth, but also be kind, because again, like I said earlier, I can be like, ouch. The devil would like cringe at some of the things that I might say. Okay? I know this about me, and I don't want to be that person, okay? But if you push me to that level, sometimes, I mean, I still take responsibility. I allowed you to push me to that level. But I'm like, I don't want to be that person. I want to speak my truth. I want to say, listen, you hurt my feelings, you blah, blah, blah. And, this is, what I'm, whatever. But I want to explain myself and like, whatever. So anyway, this conversation went back and forth, and finally I was just like, okay, this person is just not open to hearing what I have to say. They apologize, but then they justified their actions, which is a big no for me. And also, that's just not how you apologize. Literally, that's not how you apologize. And I was just like, I just don't want to be your friend. And I know that sounds very like junior high, but I don't give a flying fuck. My peace is more important. I got rid of my ex, and you think I'm gonna keep people like that minorly piss me off? Yeah, no. So this is growth. This is where, like, that conscious, like, I tried to kind of express myself and be like, I don't think I said what I wanted, but the point was, at that point I was done. I was just like, okay, 3 strikes, you're out. I'm not interested in salvaging this relationship, right? So that's progress. That's that learning loop, right? So when we are taking action in our life, when we are doing something different, we have to give ourselves grace. Okay? Like I'm making a Mad Hatter hat for a client, and I made a first prototype out of the this weird fabric I had. I'm not gonna get into the details. It was like way too fucking tall, and it was way too narrow. So I was like, okay, I need a better fabric to work with. So I had a piece of this upholstery fabric that I did for uh my kitchen set, like for the seats. And I was like, this is a thicker fabric. This will give me a better visual. So I made it shorter and I made it a little wider, and like I just played with the pattern that I made, right? And that was the other thing. Like I had this fear of like, okay, I promised I would do this, and like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I thought I would find a pattern online, just copy it and use it, and I couldn't find what I wanted. So I had to make my own pattern. And actually, like the pattern, like my parents were tailors, so I do know for the most part what I'm doing. I don't know everything. I wasn't formally trained or anything like that, but usually I can figure shit out. Anyway, long story short, it took me a while to figure it out. And now I'm just like, okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. The brim's got to be a little shorter. I'm definitely going to have to use tons of interfacing to make this fucker stand up. And if I use interfacing on the fabric and the lining, we should be there. Okay. And now I just need to execute. So, like, sometimes, like that, people get stuck in that conscious competence, unconscious, hold on, conscious competence and conscious incompetence, that trial and error. Like I tried something, it didn't work, let me go back to the drawing board. Like they get stuck in that pattern of like constantly figuring it out instead of saying, this is good enough, this is gonna work, let me move to the final draft. I hope that made sense. Okay, and I am having a freaking hot flash now, which I haven't had in a while. Okay, let's pull some cards because I've gone longer than I wanted to, and I've got laundry sitting. I've got a hat that needs to be finished. I have a square that needs to be taken care of. Anyway, I'm telling you, when I get on these lives, like the energy just flows, and there's just so much yummy stuff that comes out that hopefully it's helpful to you, but it's definitely helpful to me. All right, so we are using the Rohrig Tarot. Rohrig. Carl Rohrig. He is a German creator. This deck was out of print for a while. I don't know if you can still find it. I ended up finding my second copy and third copy because I do have a backup deck. This is one of my favorite decks. I use this all the time for my clients. It's a collage deck. I found it on eBay. Okay. And then I found somebody that was selling it like really cheap, like take my shit, on Facebook Marketplace. So, okay. All right. What do we need to know for this week? Okay. Okay, interesting. So, the words, okay? Like, the Prince of Swords is really about breaking those chains that bind us, the words that are getting in our way. And this week, we're getting there. Okay, it is reverse. It's saying that, like, we don't exactly know what we want. We don't, in some areas of our lives. We don't exactly know how to articulate it. We may not know how to broach the subject with someone. But again, this is where, like, I was just talking about this, is like sometimes people get stuck in that trial and error. Like, I tried something and it didn't work, so back to the drawing board. And they go back and forth. If you're in a business and you're like, oh, I need to change my font and I need to change my hook and I need to figure out my messaging, like, stop. Okay, this card is like, we are in this like weird energy of like these planets are like not moving forward. But next week on the 25th, Uranus moves into Gemini, and almost every single sign is going to be breathing a sigh of relief because Uranus in Taurus and in Aries is not a good placement for it. Or I'm sorry, Uranus is in Taurus. Oh, it was Neptune. That's what I knew that I was off on something. It's Neptune and Mercury. I apologize. So that, I knew that didn't feel right. And that's why I didn't want to talk about it anymore because I was just like, I remember. Anyway, So what it is that conjunction between Neptune and Mars and Mercury is like, we know we want to say stuff, but we're not clear yet as to what we want to say. This is this card, okay? I apologize. I was wrong about that one. There's all these things to keep track of. So using that Neptunian energy in Aries of like to lean into not finding the right words. So this card is about finding the right words. It's about breaking through and saying the right thing. But because it's reversed, it's not about finding the right words. Okay, that Neptune and Aries. It's about working on your belief in yourself. So you don't have to believe that you can be a millionaire. You just have to believe that you can create something better than what you have. And I know better could be $1 more, but like that's how we climb that ladder of belief. It's like we create more certainty and more certainty and more certainty. I started with I'm already doing that. So by saying I'm already doing that, my brain goes looking for where am I already doing that and where can I use that strategy, that aha to this situation or whatever I'm doing. Like if I did it in the past, I can do it again. That's what this card is saying. But it's like, but there are dreams there that we haven't tapped into yet. That's coming next week as things move, right? So, especially with Uranus and Gemini, because that will bring in that wild card. Gemini is like, I don't want to say two-faced, but it's the two sides of the equation, right? It's the yin yang. So it will bring more balance into, and it's also an air sign. So we'll get some of this air moving. So right now, your job isn't to figure it out, it's to work on your belief. Okay? And your belief in yourself. Okay? I didn't get this far to just get this far. I'm already doing it. I do know what I'm doing. In my heart, in my soul, I know what I'm doing. So maybe your mind hasn't caught up, but your heart and soul do know where you're going. So the Wheel of Fortune is about movement. It's about taking action. It's about the rolling the dice and having things turn out your way. This week, it's about the inner game. So this is the outer world. This week, it's about the inner game. Okay? Luck is not chance. It is where opportunity meets preparation, right? Or preparedness or whatever. I don't remember what the quote is. But it's about like if you believe something is possible, if you believe that relationship that feels like a unicorn, or if you believe like whatever you're creating in your business is exactly where you're supposed to be, then it will. The world will catch up. They don't have a choice. You need to get there. You need to create momentum in your belief, in your inner world, so that when the universe starts to, or the world starts to take notice and be like, oh, well, this is really cool. Oh, yeah, I do want that. Thinking of my list of services, when people are like, oh my God, this makes it so much easier to know what I'm looking for. Because 9 times out of 10, people do not need a tarot reading. I had a client yesterday, she needs a cord removal, but she's not ready for it. And that's okay. There's no judgment there. I get it. It took me 13 years to get to this place where I was like, this relationship isn't fucking working. Something needs to give. I need to do something. And then do the past life regression to be able to let go of that karmic relationship. But I wasn't ready. And I didn't have the tools until that moment. So this isn't about shaming ourselves. It's about creating that belief. This is kind of like the preparation. Think of life. Think of the thing that you're creating as the date. This is the prep. This is you put the sexy music on. You go and you take your everything shower. You put on your fragrance. You lay out your outfit. This is the prep work. But it comes with inside. Okay, in order for you to look sexy, you have to feel sexy. Like we know the difference. People can see people who are successful on the outside, but they're miserable on the inside. People who are faking it till they make it. Okay, so this is about cultivating that inner belief that anything is possible, that what you want is possible, that what you want is like literally basically what you're doing when you do this work is rolling out the red carpet. And you can do that. You can do that in your mind. You can be like, the right person is out there. And I believe and I am rolling out the red carpet so that they will find me. Okay? That's the work we're doing this week. And then this card is usually the leap of faith. So it's saying, not this week, you're going to have to wait. So our job between now and Friday, when the new moon hits in Aries and all these planets are active, is to get clarity, to deal with our Chiron wound, to notice it, to feel it, to integrate it into our being. And saying, yeah, I see you there. It's kind of like a sensitive spot that you avoid. Now it's time for you to be like, no, I'm done. I'm healed. Okay? But this week is not about taking that leap of faith. Now, how do I, like, just to give you an example. So for me, it's not, so this morning I was just like, how can I get this Square web page set up as quickly as possible so I can send it out to people and put it on social media? And it was just like, I just can't. Even if I hobbled it together, it's not going to look right. So for me, it's taking that slow and steady pace and being like, listen, I already put 2 things out there. I gave you 2 ways that you can work with me. I already told you that you can come and you can hop into my inbox and be like, hey, Alpita, I'm loving what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I want more of what you've got to say. And how can we work together? This is what I'm going through. This is what I want to create. What how can you help me? Can you help me? Okay? So for me, that's me rolling out the red carpet. And then next week, you'll see I'll have my little link in there. There'll be the link in the bio. It's not rushing. It is taking a step forward, but it's not saying, okay, I'm just going to throw it out there or spending the entire week doing all the things, right? One of the biggest things that you'll find on this page, on this like page that I'm creating on Square is, if all of these apply or none of these apply, then contact me so that I can help create something that will apply, that will resonate. Resonate's probably a better word. Okay? If you know that you are meant to work with me, if you have seen my content and it's calling you and you feel the pull to work with me and you know I am the right guide for you, because that's what I feel like, I'm a guide, okay? Then message me so that I can help you create the alignment that you need in your life so that you can create what you want. Okay? And then we can just put things together. It might be a 3-hour session where I did a session last week where it was I had another offer out last week which was $222, and it's a evil eye removal, a cord removal, Akashic field healing, and I think it was a tarot reading. Oh, and a crystal chakra clearing or something. It was a bunch of services, right? And I had a woman that needed help. So we scheduled a time, and I asked my pendulum, and my intuition, because my intuition usually answers quicker than the pendulum does. And it turns out she didn't need the evil eye removal. She did not need the cord removal. She needed the Akashic field healing and the crystal chakra clearing. And then she needed to go to bed and relax and rest, to give herself the rest of the week, because she was going through some emotional things, plus some physical things, plus some disturbing news and all that stuff. And she needed time to integrate and process. Okay? So it's not about doing everything on the list. It's not about getting the wash and the cut and the color and the haircut. It's about what is it you need. So sometimes you're going to come to my list of services and be like, I don't see what I need, but I know I need to work with you. That's when you reach out to me and be like, I feel called to work with you. This is what I'm going through. And we can set up a 15-minute chat to figure out what that is, what that looks like of us working together. Okay? Because I also do have longer, like 3, 6, 9, and 12-month life coaching programs. I also have 3, 6, 9, and 12-month business consulting packages where I help you with your business, clarifying your message, clarifying, all the things, learning how to use AI for your marketing and for your content creation, all the things. So it's like, you may not know why you're being called to work with me or whatever you're being called to, but sometimes we just have to take that leap. It's not a leap of faith. You may feel like this is a leap of faith because you're taking a step in an aligned direction. It's like, oh, I'm finally taking that step. This is an overdue step. This is something that you have been called to do for a long time, and now you're finally taking the step. So at this point, it's not a leap of faith. It's just the next logical step. And if you don't know what that is, I definitely invite you to message me and book a session. So I'm gonna comment on this for a second. So when I first started doing lives, when I first started showing up on social media, when I first started like in my business, like a long time ago, 20 almost 30 years ago, I was always like, well, whatever you think you need, or yeah, sure, I could do that, or like, come back when you want, or, like very nonchalant, very like user, like client based. And I find that sometimes clients don't know what they want because they don't know what I have to offer, and they don't know the things that what effect, what outcome they're going to get from the things that I offer. And that is the whole point of the list of services. But that's also me moving from this Aquarius, like airy fairy, like, yeah, whenever you want, come back for another session, full well knowing that they need other things and that they're not going to fucking take the action that we just talked about because they're not ready to take that action because there's resistance in the way and they actually need other things. And like feeling like, oh well, if I tell them that they need these other 5 things, they're gonna run away and they're gonna think that I'm just trying to upsell them and make money. And it's never about that for me. Yes, do I need to make money? Do I have bills to pay? Of course. But it's all about like what is going to get you into alignment. Meaning, how do you get your mind, your heart, your soul, and your actions and your body, because they're two different things. Our actions are separate from our body. Our body is our physical, like, have we eaten? Have we had enough water? Have we had enough sleep? Have we have enough ba 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 ba? Our nervous system, right? Our physical bodily functions. How do we, and our environment, how do we get all those things on the same page, all cylinders firing in the same direction, which is what this Aries stellium is doing for us. It is saying, you need to deal with the past. You need to get your words together. You need to get your actions together. You need to line all these things up in a row, kind of like a race, right? Like you have to have rev your engine and you got to check your mirrors and you got to have your seatbelt on and all the things in order for you to move forward to your next destination, for you to move forward. And when you don't have it all together, and it's not all, it's, to me, that alignment is very much, every single person has a different combination. It's kind of like a slot machine. You don't know what your wild card is. You don't know what it is that's going to get you there. Like some people, it's just, sometimes for me it's just fucking talking myself into something. Like literally, as an Aquarius, as an air sign, if I talk myself into something, I will take action. It does not mean it's always the right action. It does not mean it's always the aligned action. So that's why sometimes I have to take a step back and be like, okay, what is the outcome? If I do this, what's going to happen? What am I creating in the world? And also, what's the resistance? What are the beliefs that are holding me back that says, well, yeah, people are not going to do that, or people, whatever, right? So this Aries stellium, as it's called, all these planets in Aries, is saying, on your mark, get set, go. So after Friday, it's a go. But until we get to Friday, it's checking our mirrors. It's, do we have our GPS set? Do we know where we're going? Do we know what we're going to say when we get there? Do we know when we notice the things that trigger us, the Chiron wound, what we're going to do with that trigger? Are we going to yell? Are we going to scream? Are we going to hide? Are we going to fawn? Are we going to freeze? Are we going to flee, fawn, freeze? I think there's another one. I thought there was 5. But anyway, what are we going to do? Okay? Are we going to deal with it? Are we going to confront it? Are we going to integrate it? Are we going to walk away? What are we going to do? We have to figure these things out if we want to create the new world and the new reality that we want. It's not about anymore. Yes, there is this like, I need to know what I want. I need to know what I don't want because that gives me information as to what is not acceptable, my standards, my values, right? But it's also like, where are you moving towards? More money is finding a penny on the street. More love is a stray cat adopting you. What is it that you actually want? Okay? So this is what this week is preparing us. Okay? Being mindful of our words, not jumping into things, getting our nervous system and our subconscious and our soul, on the same page. So that when things move on Friday, and they will fucking move, this weekend is a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement. But Friday is that window of being like, you get to put your order into the universe. You get to set your new moon intentions. You get to say, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. Not please God, not please universe. This is what I'm doing. I am. I am. Moving into that consciousness of I am. Declaring it. An intention is not a, it would be nice to, can you please, if there's extra money in the universe's pocket, can I pay my bill? No. It is I am. I am. And not fluffy terms like successful and happy and wealthy and all that thing. Concrete. I am making $5,000 a month. I am in a committed, passionate, and compassionate reciprocal relationship. I am taking action on my dreams. Okay, that one's a little fluffy, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, we need to get our words together. I want you to think of this week as rehearsal, as tryouts and rehearsal and audition. Friday is when we get the part. We say, I want the part. I want the lead. I'm tired of being, for me, and if you're an Aquarius, you get this because anyway, long story. I am no longer going to be Cinderella. I'm going to be Cinderella. I'm going to be my own fairy god fucking mother. I am going to get my own fucking coach. I'm going to get my own fun man. And I am going to put myself in the position that I need to be in for Prince Charming to show up. And not the airy fairy Prince Charming, but the man that will protect and provide and love me and be kind and compassionate with me. And when I say, please don't do that and please don't say that, he'll be like, baby, of course. I got you. I'm sorry. And I got you. Okay? So this is the shift that we're looking for. And Friday is a day for you to set your intentions. But you cannot set your intentions unless you sit down and do some fucking work. Again, more money is going to equal a penny a dollar on the street. It's not going to equal the 5K, the 10K, the 15K, the millions or billions that you want. You have to get clarity. Aries, like, the more clarity you have, the more conviction you have, the more belief and confidence you have, and the more like, fuck you, I got this, the more, I don't know how, I don't know when, and this is one of the ways that I manifest too, for me, when I tap into that fire energy, is that's my Jupiter in Aries. Like, shit moves when I say, I don't know how, I don't know when, but this business is going to blow up. I don't know how, I don't know when, but my fucking real life Prince Charming, my soulmate, my protector, my provider, my lover, my best friend will show up this year. That's when shit moves. So Friday is about declaration. It is not about wishy-washy. It's not about please and thank you. It's not about gratitude. It's about proclaiming shit. It's about declaring and proclaiming. I am. This is happening. But in order to get there, you've got work to do. And if you don't, you'll be dragged by the fire horse into situations that will help you deal with your shit. So for me, it's speaking up when someone is not listening to me, and when I find that they are not open to dealing with their shit or acknowledging what really happened, it's walking away and saying, I no longer have space, time, and energy for people that are unsupportive of my life. Bye, Felicia. And being okay with being alone, because I'd rather have peace and clarity than bullshit. Okay? So it's getting to that place. It's getting a lot of anger this week. This is that Aries energy. That, like, thou shalt not pass. Like, I'm not doing that. Think of Scarlett O'Hara at the end of Gone with the Wind. As God is my witness, I'll never be hungry again. It's that motherfucking energy that you need to tap into. Not, please God, please universe. It's show me. Bring this into my world. It is done energy that we are moving into. And I'm not just talking about this new moon. I'm talking about this time forward. Moving forward. Not being wishy-washy. The age of Pisces is motherfucking over, baby. We are in the age of Aquarius. And Aquarius is like, I don't care if I'm weird. I don't care if you don't get what I'm doing. I don't care if you don't see my vision. I will do it. And if you are not along for the ride, then move the fuck out of the way. Because I'm going to run you the fuck over. Okay? And yes, Aquarius is about creating a better collective. But the way that we create a better collective is by taking care of ourselves. I cannot be here and serve you if I don't have my fucking coffee. If I am not taking care of myself. And part of that is putting my offers out there and saying, you know what? You fucking need me. Maybe not you specifically, but yes, you. If you were watching right now, you need my services. You stuck out an hour and 15 minutes, or you came into it, you need something from me. You need to work with me in some way, shape, or form. So get in my inbox. What the fuck are you waiting for? My services start at $33, so I don't want to hear it. And I get it. Sometimes we got the $33. Been there, done that. But it's also, where are we putting our energy? If we constantly say things that we don't have it, we're never going to have it. I know for me, like, look at those curtains. I was just like, oh, they're $30 and I have curtains. They're $30 fucking dollars. I think they were 38. And by the time I bought them, they were 25 because they were like in my save for later. But finally I decided that I was just like, no. The curtains that I had, if you remember, were like a lot thinner. I need, like, when I close my curtains and lights out for the night, it is literally pitch black in here, except for the fucking smoke alarm. And if one of these days I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna put a sticker on it because it bothers me. I need pitch black and silence when I sleep. That's what I need. I'm a cave's environment in human design. I literally need to make my environment as a cave, and I can get good sleep. And I may only get 5 hours of sleep, or 6 hours, or 7 or 8 hours, which is not what I really need, because I don't always get what I need as far as sleep goes. But I'm working on that. I'm getting more sleep. I'm going to bed earlier. I'm letting myself sleep for whatever I need. But I was like, $38 is nothing compared to having quality sleep and being able to get the fuck up every day and feel rested and refreshed. 5 hours in my cave of sleeping is worth 20 hours with sunlight. Probably more hours. When we start making our needs, our wants, our desires non-negotiable, it's that I don't know how, I don't know when, but it's done energy that Aries is calling us to tap into. We all have it. Go look at your chart and see where Aries is in your astrological chart. And if you want help, you need help, you do not know anything about astrology, then book a session with me. At the end of that session, you will understand yourself. You will accept yourself at such a deep level that nobody is going to shake you. People are going to say shit to you that is not fucking true because whatever, because you did something once or because you used to be that way. And you're going to be like, no, that's not me. You're confused. Okay? That's the clarity you get when you have a session with me, because I don't go into like conjunctions and all that stuff. I go into the nitty gritty that makes you understand and integrate yourself. I speak astrology and human design in a way that you understand what it means, validating you, helping you accept yourself, and helping you integrate the parts that you keep rejecting because people told you they were bad or wrong. When those are your superpowers, those are your gifts. Okay? Like for me, if I were to have sat here 10 years ago and been like, okay, all I'm doing in my business is mostly the intuitive stuff, mostly the metaphysical stuff, and I'm letting go of the logic, and I'm only allowing logic to come in, that 25% that's in my variables, if you know human design, you know what I'm talking about, when it's needed. I'm going to live my life intuitively because that's what I need to do. And be proud of it. Be proud that I'm a psychic. Be proud that I'm intuitive. Be proud that I'm living my life according to who I am, and trusting that is not enough. It is more than motherfucking enough to create the life that I want. I would have said, you're fucking, what are you smoking? That's not me. I'm highly logical. And it's not that I'm not, and it's not that I'm not good at the logical stuff, but I find that people need my intuition more than my logic. The logic comes in when it's necessary. Yes, we talk about habits. Yes, we talk about action steps. Yes, in your business, we talk about platforms and how to post, when to post, and all that stuff. But it comes from an intuitive place rather than this is what everybody's doing. This is what coaches are doing. This is what psychics are doing. This is what tarot readers are doing. This is what. No, you don't want to do what everybody else is doing because then you get lost in the crowd. You want to do what you are meant to be doing. Meant to. I like that. Meant to. Not have to, not should, but meant to be doing. What is aligned for you? Okay, I'm going to get going because every time I'm like, it's going to be a short session. Yeah, I give up. I surrender to the fact that I will finish my lives when I've said what I needed to say. Okay? It's so funny. I'm taking a class on NLP. I'm already certified on NLP, but like I can use it with other people, but I want to learn how to use it for myself. And the guy was just like, stop asking when this class is over. It's over when I stop talking. And then he diluted it by saying, oh, I'm just kidding. No, you're not kidding. You're right. The class is over when you're done speaking. And sometimes we have so much to say and we edit ourselves, we limit ourselves, we filter ourselves because we have people that are like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Go log off. If you feel like this is too long, then you're not my client. This message isn't for you. If you are interested in what I have to say, if it is resonating, if it is hitting something inside of you, and you just, everything I say, well, most of it, let's say 80 to 90%, 90%, you're like, yes, 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 then you're here for a reason. So you will stay as long as it takes. And if you've got other things to do that are more important, obviously go take care of those. Like part of the reason I'm getting off, well, one, it's been, a while and I'm good. I've said what I've had to say, but I also have to pee and I have a child that's waiting for me. So honoring your own needs. I don't want you to stay on a live when you really have to pee or you have to go get your kid off the bus or whatever it is. But I also want you to understand that in life, we keep doing the thing that we are supposed to do until we get it right. Okay? I could sit here after 3 marriages and say, well, maybe love isn't in the cards. I don't give a flying fuck. I know I am meant to have a partner. I can feel it. I can feel him. I know he's out there. I can feel him. And this time I am fucking calling him in. No substitutes, no what I think I can get, no shying, no, it's that Leo energy. Remember, I'm an Aquarius. I need to be the Leo. I need to bring in that Leo energy, right? The yang to my yin, right? I'm rolling out the red carpet for the right partner because I am no longer available for the wrong people. I'm just not. And if this live hits you the wrong way and you're like, you know what, I just really don't like what she has to say, then that's your opportunity. That's your clue for you to unfriend, unfollow, whatever. And that's fine. Unsubscribe, whatever it is, whatever platform you're seeing this, just, it's okay. I'm not offended. It used to bother me when people did that, right? And then I'm like, but if that person's not aligned and we're not meant to work together, I don't want them in my world. I want you to go find the people that resonate with you. Just like me, when I find someone that doesn't resonate, that like rubs me the wrong way, either I need to lean in and be like, what is that showing me? And is there a lesson here? Is there an opportunity for growth? Or is it that they're an asshole and I just am not available for that energy? Because there is that conversation. We don't want to just be like, no, I'm not doing that or not talking to that person when there's an opportunity for growth. But there's a difference. There's prickly, like uncomfortable, like needing to be expressed energy. And then there's like, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. This person, that's not the life I want. That's not who I want to be. This is not whatever. This makes me feel uncomfortable in a bad way. And knowing that difference, which is discernment. And this week is all about discernment. Stop focusing on the shit you don't want. Start focusing on the shit that you do want. Okay? And I'm not talking about shit. And I'm not talking about like the bare minimum. I'm talking about what is the life you truly want. Like if you really allowed yourself to dream, Neptune again in Aries, right? If you really allowed yourself to dream and gave voice to those dreams, what does it sound like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? Get all into it. Go, like, if I could give you anything to do right now, which is not related to signing up and working with me, although you should do that too, is taking out a piece of paper, and I want you to write 2 sheets of paper, front and back, so 4 pages. What does that look like? I want you to pick one topic in your life. And if I was your fairy godmother and I was waving my wand, bippity boppity boop, and I could give you anything you want, what would it look like? And keep writing. And if you get to the end of that last page and you've got more to say, keep fucking going. Take another piece of paper. If you get to the end of the second page and you don't have any more, dig deeper. Dig deeper. Get specific. I want you to be so fucking specific. I want you to imagine it's kind of like buying a car, but you're like a car nut. Okay? And you're picking out the fucking color of your blinkers. You're picking out every fucking piece of trim, every carpet fiber. That's how I want you to get into this area of your life. One area of your life. Just pick one. Doesn't matter. The one that feels the easiest. The one that you've done a lot of work in and you're like, I'm ready for that. And then if you really want to challenge, do the area that you are just like, you don't have a fucking clue, and see what comes up. Tap into that Newtonian energy of like, you already know, but you're pushing it down because it doesn't feel good. There's shame, there's guilt, there's blame, there's you're too lazy, you're too selfish, you're too greedy, you're too much, you're not enough, you're whatever. So if you really want to challenge yourself, go into that area. And for most people, it's either love or money. Period, end of story. It just is. And if you're feeling overly ambitious, my kind of person, do both. Do both areas. And just dig deep into that. If I literally had a magic wand and it could give you anything you wanted, like if I could design your perfect partner, what would they look like? How would it feel to be in their presence? How would they treat you? What is your love language? How are they going to give you your love language? Love you in the way that feels good to you. Mine is all 5. And yes, there is a hierarchy, but it is literally all 5. I need all 5. I need physical touch. I need words of affirmation. I need gifts. I'm trying to remember what the other ones are. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I need all of them. Okay? And I love through all of them. Although I tend to, Capricorn Venus, I tend to err on the practicality. I'm going to make sure that you have everything you need. Plus your wants. Plus your desires. Okay? So really tap into that energy, because the work that you do this week, the clarity that you get this week, the wounds that you heal this week, whatever you do this week is setting you up for the rest of your life. Literally. We have not had a planetary alignment that has been so potent and powerful. And I know there's more coming, but this one is the gateway. This is the portal to the next era of our lives. And the more clarity, the more healing you do this week. And yes, of course, there's shit that you always still need to do. The more clarity and the more healing and the more like you just surrender shit to the universe and be like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck to do with this, but I need help. Asking for help. And sometimes that looks like hiring someone like me, working with someone like me. Okay? Because we can't do it all. I haven't gotten here on my own. I've spent over $100,000 in coaches and certifications and books, in classes and programs and like whatever. Like 3 dozen certifications. I can't even remember them all. Trying to figure out what's wrong with me. And in reality, there's nothing wrong with me. Yes, there are wounds there that need to be healed, but there's nothing wrong with me. I was told there was something wrong with me. Right? Why can't you be normal? You don't know what you're talking about. These are all alluding that there is some sort of defect within me. There was never a defect within me. I was just surrounded by people who did not understand me. And not only did they not understand me, they didn't care enough. They didn't take the time enough to understand me. And of course, that's a characteristic I'm looking for in my partner. Someone who will take the time to understand why I do the things I do. and to discern whether this is a place where I might need some gentle prodding and some tough love to help come out of my shell, or it's just acceptance of being like, can I accept that this person, that I'm this way, or can they not? And if they can't accept who I am, then bye, Felicia. Because there's 8 point some odd billion people on the planet, and I don't have to deal with the, whatever, the people that don't want to do the work to have me in their life, that are not going to give me the kindness and the compassion and the understanding and the patience that I need, because I'm still fucking growing and I'm still healing, and we all are. I don't care what age you are. I don't care anything about you. You are always growing. You are always learning. You are always healing. You are always integrating. You are always embracing yourself. You're always learning how to love yourself and to validate yourself and to tap into who you are. And you need more people like me that are going to tell it like it is, but they're going to help guide you to get to that place. And nobody gets it all right. Nobody gets 100% in this game of life. Nobody does. You could live till 200 and you're not going to figure it all out. That's not what life is about. It's about, how can I practice more self-love? How can I practice more self-care? How can I practice more self-acceptance? Okay? How can I be kind to myself? How can I love myself? Okay? And part of that means not allowing people into your life that don't treat you with love and care. Okay? Sometimes we don't have a choice. Maybe it's a boss or whatever. But I've fired clients. I'm like, yeah, this isn't working for me. Sometimes I just raise my rates to this place where like they're gonna say no. Okay? But that's like passive aggressive. Now I'm getting to the place where I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel like it's a fit anymore. I feel like there's someone else that would be better suited for you. And I have a huge network, so I will find someone for them. And it's not a judgment. It's not saying that they're bad or wrong. I'm just saying that, like, sometimes I just don't have the patience for them. Or sometimes I'm, too patient. I don't know. So there's something there, right? So, anyway, if all of this resonates, I invite you to reach out to me to sign up to work with me. Okay? And I invite you to really get that clarity you need, because come Friday, whatever you set in motion is going to be what you're going to be dealing with for most likely the rest of your life. So make it what you want. Make it good. Make it yummy. Make it, ask for the cream of the fucking crop, because you can and you will manifest it. Okay? It's just, if you don't do the work this week or in the next couple weeks, the fire horse will drag you. And it's either trial by fire or transmutation through alchemy. Your choice. I choose transformation through alchemy, which is kind of like the work that I do, like that deep transformational bundle. We're getting to the core of things. We're letting go of relationships and situations that no longer serve us, so that we can attract what we really want. Okay? And not keep dragging these wounds with us, and not keep like limping through our life and feeling like we're handicapped because somebody somewhere along the line did not have the patience or the understanding to accept us for who we were. So they shamed us, they shunned us, whatever. Okay? So if you want transformation, if you want to do the deep alchemical work to be the person you know you're meant to be, to heal those wounds and to move forward in your life, then definitely reach out and let's have a conversation of how I can support you. If you want to, or find someone that is more aligned, or the fire horse will drag you and you will end up in the same situation over and over again until you do the work. So I want to save you the headache. I want to save you the heartache, because I've been there and I've done it. So I had the heartache and the headache. Okay? All right. I'm definitely going to go now. All right. So I hope you guys have a great day. Reach out to me if you want my support, if you want to find out other ways to work with me, or find someone that resonates with you. Because again, I'm not everybody's cup of tea or coffee or favorite beverage, okay? And I understand that. I don't want you to work with me if you feel like it's not in alignment, but I do want you to get the help and the guidance that you need, because we are living in unprecedented times, and people have been saying that for a long time, but it's true. It's only going to get wilder from here. And whether that's positive or negative is going to depend upon you. Okay? All right, you guys, I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you on Friday for the Feng Shui Friday Live. This week, we're talking about children and creativity and joy. Okay, so this is our joy center. It's actually the center of the right wall, and it's going to be something amazing. Okay, all right. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Take care.